The problem, according to the Trump administration, is a country that has been invaded, a country that is at risk physically because of the presence of people from other countries. That is a fake problem. That is not a real problem. Nobody likes to hear this.
Okay, welcome back. That was Democrat Senator Chris Murphy, completely, according to a lot of analysts we've talked to, distorting what happened. He claimed America was not at risk from the Biden administration opening and weakening U.S. borders, calling that a fake problem. Let's show the data from ICE and CBP and the government. More than 662,000 illegal aliens with criminal convictions or charges are inside the U.S. outside of detention as of 2024. They crossed over a period of decades, 40 years. Charges include murder, rape, assault, robbery, home invasion. We know this is difficult stuff to report. We're going to show you the victims who've been killed by illegal aliens. The names are up on, this is just a sample of the names. Fox News contributor Joe Concha joins us now. What do you make of what Democrat Senator Chris Murphy said? Because here's the problem. Let me step back. Let us step back. It's a misapprehension. This is a crime problem. The open borders problem is a crime problem. Americans are for, majority are for legal. They want legal. They want immigrants to come in. Immigrants want people to come in legally. What happened was a crime problem. You've talked about it, Joe. Transnational drug trafficking, sex trafficking, labor trafficking, cartels poured in over the border and pushed also criminals through the border. That was the problem, right?
Liz, you showed that graphic before. I added it up quickly in my head. It was around 240,000 people who should not be in this country who have engaged in the worst crimes you could possibly imagine in terms of murder, in terms of kidnapping, in terms of sex trafficking, all those things. These things could have been prevented under the Otto Penn administration. And then you look at polls, Liz, and you see Harvard-Harris, for example, which is run by Mark Penn, a Democrat. 55 to 57% of people support deporting every person living in the U.S. illegally. And then you look at Marquette, same thing, another poll, 56%. Pew Research finds that, overall, that a majority of people find that you want to deport people who are in this country illegally, regardless if they commit criminal acts or not. So in the end, what are we talking about here? I mean, I would think that anybody sane and sober would think that, all right, you're in this country illegally. Oh, by the way, you committed murder. You were engaged in kidnapping, sex trafficking, all these things that they would want these people out. Then you have Democrat senators like Chris Murphy saying, no, 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 it's really a fake problem. It's anything but fake. It's very real. And it's going to be a big problem for Democrats in the midterms if Republicans press this issue and say that party wants this, we want that.
I mean, isn't open borders what AOC calls part of woke one? That woke one was crazy. Because what the Democrats and the liberal media and the far left have been trying to do is to twist this story, twist the narrative that this is racist, anti-immigration positions when immigrant communities have repeatedly cried out for help, desperately crying out for help. Their neighborhoods have been flooded with criminals who have been damaging their families and their livelihoods. Senator Jim Banks, he's trying to get Republicans to pass in the Senate to enshrine Trump's border crackdown. We've seen the polls. Americans want this. They want Democrats and the media to stop misreporting on this. Again, this is a crime story, period. It involves criminal illegal aliens coming in, illegal alien gang members convicted of manslaughter, attempted rape, robbery, and more. But it's time to stop and change the national conversation on this to what you and I have been talking about, Joe. This is a crime problem.
It's a crime problem, and it's a communication problem. So we have Democrats saying that, oh, Republicans or Donald Trump are against illegals coming in the country. Yeah, they are. But then they conflate that with legal immigration, where everybody's for that completely and totally. If you want to come into this country legally, do it all day long. But that's the thing here, that Democrats are trying to conflate this thing because they figure it wins them votes, and it's a whole bowl of wrong, Liz.
Thank you so much, Joe Concha, for trying to help, helping to keep the national conversation on the railroad track here. It's good to see you again.